From coast to coast, each state holds its own secrets. Today, I'm bringing you a compilation of news broadcasts that capture these incredible encounters. Whether it's a cryptid sighting in the Pacific Northwest, an unknown creature roaming the swamps of the South, or an animal thought long extinct making a surprise return, I've got a little of everything in this video. But first, a quick note. The clips you're about to see fall under fair use, as they are intended for educational purposes, as we explore and analyze these intriguing phenomena. Now, let's dive into the mystery and wonder that lies hidden in our own backyards. I could go through all of these alphabetically, but that sounds too predictable, so let's leave the order up to fate with this spinner wheel. Let's see who's up first. Michigan. All right, so this clip is about something that washed up on the shores of Lake Michigan. And while I don't believe it's a cryptid, it is an interesting story.
Legend has it that there are lots of large and mysterious creatures lurking under Lake Michigan, but it's what's washed up on the lakeshore today that's got everyone talking. We do want to warn some viewers might find some of these images disturbing. On the shores of Lake Michigan, a storm stretches for miles.
It's been pretty nasty with the wind and the rain all day. So
this one was different.
Again, this morning, watching the storm, watching the waves, and even though the windows were covered with rain, I could see something down the beach that looked unfamiliar, odd.
Something strange washed ashore on the beaches in Grand Haven.
Couldn't tell what it was. So I walked down and took a couple pictures.
A carcass, but it's not clear what it is.
Initially, I thought it was a cow from this distance. And then I'm like, no, it's not a cow. Walked down, took the pictures, and I thought it was a goat. The internet thinks otherwise, that it's a deer, and I don't really know what it is.
Sheila Schmidt has lived here for 9 years and seen it all. But this, she says, this is a first.
Oh yeah, when you get down there and you're up close enough to it, you can tell that there is still some hair on it, which is the darker, but for the most part it's probably been in the water for quite some time, and a lot of the hair is no longer there.
She hopes that this isn't someone's family animal, but if it is,
it'd be nice for them to know that they can say goodbye.
Schmidt has called different local and state agencies in hopes of getting it cleaned up. She says at this time, no one is coming forward. Reporting in studio, I'm Matt Whitkos, Fox 17 News.
On to the next. Who do we got? Wisconsin. Oh, this is one of my favorite legends. Nothing like a good dogman story.
I told my mom I thought I saw a werewolf, and my mom believed me.
I was walking along a good probably 7 to 10 seconds before it had turned its head.
That thing, that was no dog. That was too big to be a dog. That thing was bigger than me.
That thing was stalking cornfields, jumping on cars, and feasting on roadkill. For 2 years, people in Elkhorn, Wisconsin whispered about a king-sized creature who roamed Bray Road.
It had really big claws, it was holding its roadkill like it had elbows, and it was kneeling on 2 knees, like a human being might do.
Eerie stories like that prompted Linda Godfrey, a reporter and cartoonist, to investigate. It was all just too bizarre not to be for real.
When you live in a small town and you say you've seen something that looks like a dog man or a wolf man, you know, you're going to get some ridicule, and they did. So they had no reason to say this.
Despite the ridicule, beast believers came forward in Godfrey's Beast of Bray Road article, like Doris Gibson, who'd seen it on Halloween night 1991. Driving down Bray Road, she had gotten out of her car when she thought she had hit an animal.
It was foggy out and I was a little bit afraid. And this big thing come just like trucking, you know? Just trucking down the road at me, man. I looked at it and I'm like, ah! And I ran, I got back in the car. You know, and before I peeled off, that thing scratched the back of the car.
Tom Brichta's car was also scratched by the creature from Bray Road.
My adrenaline started pumping. I was scared.
But this is a creature that likes to cross county lines. Tom saw it twice on Route 106.
We were having a good time and stuff. We were singing to the oldies and jamming out and stuff. And then all of a sudden I noticed this on the side of the road.
He was big and he looked intimidating. I was scared of his appearance.
Back on Bray Road, Lori Andreezy remembers her close encounter with the creature in 1990.
I saw it kneeling on the side of the road, and it was eating something. And I came up from behind it, and I slowed down because I thought it was a person at first. So I came up from behind it, and I realized it wasn't a person when I saw its pointy ears.
From those descriptions, Linda drew up this composite picture of the beast. All agreed it was very big, with pointy ears and broad-chested with a shaggy coat streaked with silver, gray, or black.
It had brought its right hand up, stopped, looked over by the car, real nonchalant, and made eye contact with both Scott and I, and gave like this sneer, like it was challenging us. Like, you know, what are you going to do about it? You know, I'm here, you're there. I'm bigger than you are. You can't do anything about it.
But with all the sightings, no one knew if it was man, beast, or even a combination of the two. One person simply called it God's mistake.
I would assume that what they saw was some sort of an animal, probably dog-like in nature, either a loose dog or a coyote.
I just said, it's a big animal, and it's upset. It's really upset.
If werewolves do exist, this is probably a werewolf.
Hey, what are you doing? Once the W word was spoken, werewolf mania broke out in Elkhorn. T-shirts were gobbled up and personal capture permits were issued courtesy of Hairy Face. Even the local bakery made Beast of Bray Road cookies, touting them as werewolf cookies that will make you howl. Letters came pouring in. One in particular sent chills down Linda's spine.
He said it was too large to be a wolf. It had a terribly unkempt look to its fur, wild, not normal.
Elaine Bushman was describing what her husband Robert had witnessed in 1991. The Bushmans live in St. Nazian and were just passing through town when Robert spied the creature. They knew nothing of the beastly tales that haunted Elkhorn.
I've never seen anything that would be dirty enough and for some reason or other scary enough to make you feel the hair lift up on your arms, you know?
So, is it a dog, coyote, or werewolf? Believe what you will, but just remember, it's here, just waiting.
All right, who's next? New Hampshire. This one isn't a cryptid, but it is a unique mutation of a known animal.
A rare sight in Holderness this week. Check this out. What you are seeing is an albino porcupine. It was spotted near Route 3. This was north of Meredith. It was actually near Squam Lake on Monday when this was seen. Biologists estimate about 1 in every 10,000 porcupines is albino. So he's not the only one out there, but he is super rare. The animal, of course, is normally brown in color. There are 29 species of porcupine in the world, but the North American is the only type here in New Hampshire.
Give this a little spin. Hawaii. The creature talked about in this report is a good example of how strange sea life can be.
A mysterious creature has recently been discovered deep in the Pacific Ocean. Scientists say this is the first sighting in the Pacific of what's known as a sea pen, which they say is a type of coral. This was found more than 9,842 feet under the sea. Scientists were able to get video of the tentacled creature using a remotely operated vehicle.
Who's next? New York. This story is a classic of an unknown animal washing ashore and bringing a lot of buzz and speculation with it.
The carcass of a mysterious creature has washed up ashore at Seal Beach. The animal has sharp teeth, but no hair, and no one knows exactly what it is. KTLA's Olga Ospina shows us the pictures from Seal Beach.
Like a little beast, like some little scary little monster type thing out of a storybook.
What is this thing? Karen Summers stumbled upon this monstrous-looking creature during her walk along the shore of Seal Beach Wednesday night.
There were no eyes. The mouth was had enormous teeth. Underneath where the jawbone is, the teeth came up very large.
It has no ears, and look at the feet. The toes or the nails on it are long and pointy. Public Works came out. They found the creature near the shore. They buried it. They said it looked like some kind of possum, but even they're not sure exactly what this thing was. Karen warned beachgoers.
I said, hey, there's some type of little beastly thing on the beach. Please don't have your dog go near it. And he came up and he said, oh, wow, that looks like the Montauk monster.
She did some research on the so-called Montauk monster, which has reportedly washed up on the shores off the East Coast, and she says there are definite similarities.
It just looked fierce. Like I'm sure the surfers would not want to be bit by this thing.
So is it a monster? Or the carcass of a dog, a raccoon, an opossum? No one really seems to know. The ocean is full of mysteries, and now that it's been buried, it appears this thing will remain one as well. In Seal Beach, Olga Ospina, KTLA 5 News.
Who do we have next in line? Utah. Now this is a cool story involving one of my favorite legends.
From UFO sightings to cattle mutilations, a ranch in the Uinta Basin has been home to numerous bizarre and terrifying events, and it's now the subject of its own TV series on the History Channel.
Yeah, well, tonight, News Specialist Andrew Adams has his own exclusive look inside the mysterious Skinwalker Ranch after a visit that proved to be a little out of this world.
It moves in quietly, and it looms over every empty space.
You get that sense that you shouldn't be here.
The dread that fills Skinwalker Ranch can be practically
indescribable.
And it's usually only the beginning of something worse.
Poltergeist type stuff, UFO sightings, cattle mutilations. I had a mysterious bump that started to form on my head pretty rapidly, and over the course of a few days my scalp completely separated from my skull.
For decades, locals thought the land was cursed.
A shapeshifter. It's a demonic being that can take on the shape of many different animals or the form of a human. And so really that's the legend of the Skinwalker.
Hey, we're coming in. Thanks for the heads up.
You got it. See ya.
Today, a new owner oversees the property. And he's hoping to find answers that are grounded in science.
Hey, man. Learning that Skinwalker Ranch was involved with a black-budget, Pentagon-funded study into not only the UFO phenomena, but other high strangeness was very interesting to me. supposedly the site of more paranormal activity and high strangeness than anything else being reported in the country at the time. And over 4 years, we have recorded and documented phenomena that really defies all natural explanation. It could truly be, the greatest science project of our time.
Brandon Fugel now employs a team of scientists, and they found when it comes to radio frequencies, the ranch has a peculiar pulse.
So we might think of this as a range across the radio dial. And here it's as if several stations all at once became very loud.
Spikes in radiation have been equally transient. And as cameras and sensors monitor the grounds 24/7, a wide range of theories has surfaced, including unseen energy sources,
interdimensional phenomena, precognitive, non-human intelligence.
It started to feel like an intelligence was toying with us when our electronics began to malfunction.
What does it say?
Calibration failed, that it was too strong to actually calibrate.
At the time our drone encountered an unexpected interference,
I don't know what that is or if it has any relationship to what's happened with your drone.
the RF sensors started going crazy.
Well, this is a recording I just made 30 seconds ago.
When a contrail shadow began to appear in the sky.
Look at below it. There's like a dark...
Well, it's not as dark now.
No, it's not as now.
Everyone scrambled inside to see what the cameras caught.
Something moves through there.
It was barely a blip.
Right here. Yeah. Wonder what that guy is.
And yet it couldn't have been a bigger deal.
There.
Oh my gosh.
There it is. See it?
Yeah.
The slender, cigar-shaped object didn't appear to fly like a bird or plane.
That's exactly when we were recording all the other anomalies, if I'm not mistaken.
Any of those anomalies could have had perfectly natural explanations, but the timing of all of them together seemed uncanny.
This is so weird.
You've never heard it beep like this?
This is the second drone that can't connect in this very area.
The next time our drone failed to launch, near the epicenter of the ranch's activity.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Will you please allow us to fly the drone?
It literally took a prayer for the drone to start working.
Wow. I said it out loud and there it is in the air.
It just... it's baffling.
Baffling may just be the baseline at Skinwalker Ranch, where flames spark out of nowhere, while cameras roll on empty rooms.
So many people swear that there is another presence here, that there's an active presence watching.
Until all questions are answered.
Are we alone in the universe?
The mystery of the ranch is very much alive.
You really have to see it and experience it to believe it.
And ranch regulars also talk about a hitchhiker effect, where something follows visitors home and causes problems in their lives. Now, our crew said that they just had nightmares after they left. Season 2, the History Channel series, is expected to have 10 episodes that will air next year.
Spin to win. Connecticut. Here we revisit the legendary Montauk Monster, as Connecticut has its own encounter with a creature that washed up on its shores.
Now at 5:30, this story.
I was a little startled. You've seen stories in the news about weird things washing up on the beach.
It is a mystery on the Connecticut shoreline that's getting a lot of attention. What exactly is this thing on the beach?
He's got some choppers.
Yeah, we posted the pictures on our Facebook page and shared them more than 500 times, and hundreds of you commented about what this might be.
Well, Channel 3 New London Bureau Chief Kevin Hogan is live tonight with the mobile newsroom in Old Lyme to help solve this monster mystery. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, we may never know, Mark and Denise, but the DEP says they don't really very sure as to exactly what it is because it's gone. But Ryan Lee, who stumbled across this animal carcass on the beach on Monday, says he called it the Montauk Monster because back in 2008, a carcass of an animal washed up on the beach in Montauk, New York. This carcass of an animal washed up onto Miami Beach following Sunday's storm and high tides. The guy who took these pictures, Ryan Lee, couldn't figure out what it was, so he posted them online where more than 250,000 people have viewed it.
I don't know what kind of animal it is. I contacted Public Works to see if they could come remove it, because obviously don't want that decaying on the beach.
Guesses include a skunk, a small bear, a fisher cat, even a badger.
I don't know what it is. People all over Facebook are finding all kinds of ideas that, funny things it might be and whatever, but who knows?
The state DEP tells Eyewitness News their experts confirm it's a mammal and not a sea creature, probably a skunk. The local Public Works crew already took the Montauk Monster away for good.
I mean, with, the way the tides are and some of the flooding, something could have got, washed out of the Connecticut River and then ended up here, or, something could have got, pulled from inland with, high tide surge.
Well, Old Lyme Public Works is pretty sure it's a skunk. They got rid of it, so we'll never know. Live at the mobile newsroom in Old Lyme, Kevin Hogan, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
What did you think of some of these stories? Do you believe there is truth to their claims, or are people simply misidentifying animals that are already known? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you have any pictures, videos, or stories of unexplained phenomena, unknown animals, or strange encounters, feel free to email them to me at thesagecrypt@gmail.com. I'd love to make a full video based off your entries. This was part 1 of a series I'll be releasing every week. If you didn't see your state in this video, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification for future videos so you don't miss it. Fare thee well, friend.